All right, Hydration, first of all, congratulations. That was a really, really tense, really close game against London. You just won. Tell me, first of all, how are you feeling after that?
Pretty good. You know, I'm a little bit hungry, a bit thirsty. Haven't had water in a while.
Well, we'll hopefully get you hydrated a little bit. Get it? See what I did there? After this interview here, okay? Today, we're going to be talking to you a little bit about the character of Doomfist. We're doing a lot of character-focused interviews lately, and as the kind of highest profile Doomfist player that we have out there, we'd like to ask you a couple questions. While you may be known in part for your Doomfist, I think it's safe to say he's sort of a niche pick. So why would you say that is right now?
He's a very strange character, as in he kind of fits in with both tanks and with dive, but the problem right now is that he's very easy to abuse and counter, especially now where like Sombra is extremely good, and like Tracer is still really good, and even Zen. Those are some really strong heroes against Doomfist, and it's like really hard to play him and be successful, especially in this meta. It used to be quite a bit easier in stage 2 in the previous meta, but in this stage it's like, especially with the map pool too. The map pool is like very hard to get much done with Doomfist.
What initially drew you to Doomfist as a hero, and what are your favorite things about his playstyle?
I started playing him like when he got released, and I was having a lot of fun with him, but eventually he ended up getting a bit nerfed, and he just wasn't as good. But a few months later, I was a bit bored, you know, same old solo queue, and I decided to pick Doomfist one game, and you know, I was doing pretty good, but a player on my team, like, he told me to stop throwing because I was on Doomfist. So at that moment, I took it personally to like become one of the best Doomfists.
So while playing Doomfist, what would you say is your favorite play or combo with another player that you like to pull off?
My favorite play when playing Doomfist is probably when you use your Seismic Slam from a really high ground, I guess, and you just fall down and hit like multiple people, and then you uppercut them after. It's just so satisfying, and like you see your ult charge just go from like 0 to like 60. It's insane.
At this juncture, what would you say are Doomfist's main strengths and weaknesses?
One of his main strengths is his stalling potential, but not necessarily because he lives long, but because he can get back to the point fast, and it's very easy for him to be able to get a kill while doing so. Another strength is his high mobility. He's able to control high ground pretty easily, but his main weakness is like verticality. Like a Genji, if he double jumps over you, you can't really do much to him. If a Pharah is shooting you from above, nothing you can do. But otherwise, like, he's very solid on the ground.
When played at a high level, what would you say Doomfist's main maps are, and how do you use him effectively to help your team?
The best Doomfist maps are maps that are like really tight and narrow, so you can get a lot of value out of your abilities that are really good in tight areas. A map especially like Lijiang Control Center, that's one of the best maps. It's actually one of my favorites. All the walls are worked so nicely. And Dorado and Iconwall, there are also two other really good maps for Doomfist. A lot of high ground you can abuse.
In the competitive ladder environment, it seems that Doomfist, more than any other character, seems either really good or really bad, depending on the player. What is it about Doomfist that makes him so skill dependent?
He's very hit or miss, quite literally. You either hit your right click or you don't. Like, you really have to master him. There's a lot of techniques you have to do. You have to really know like your survivability. His passive is really good for helping you survive long fights. And the longer you stay alive in a fight, the more you can actually do, especially with the passive kicking in. And he's very hard to kill if you're like really masterful with his abilities.
What's one tip you'd give somebody to improve their Doomfist play?
One tip for Doomfist is whenever you see a diva, just run away. Especially if you're discorded, she's gonna melt you so fast, like not even your abilities are gonna save you.
What's your biggest pet peeve or mistake that you see Doomfists make?
The biggest issue I've seen with other Doomfist players is always their ults. They seem to be a little bit too careless with ults. They think that they're like, they can ult in the middle of the enemy team and like be invincible, and then they just instantly die after they land. You have to remember that Doomfist ult can be both good and bad, and even if you don't kill a lot of people with Doomfist ult, you like land on like 2 tanks, like that's still fine because you're going to get the max passive from the damage that you do with it, so you'll have enough health to survive with it. So sometimes don't be afraid to go in with the ult, but at the same time know your limits.
What, if anything, would you say needs to change in order to make Doomfist a more approachable hero to pick up for aspiring players?
I think he really needs it's a lot about teamwork with Doomfist. Like you kind of need someone to like really help you, like a Diva or a Zarya or even a Brigitte in the near future.
Now I'd like to talk about Doomfist in a more casual sense. When he was first revealed, Doomfist was presented as a supervillain able to take down an entire Overwatch team by himself. Are there any tweaks or changes that you feel could be made in order to make the character feel more like that uber powerful supervillain when you play?
I think that maybe Doomfist's abilities need to be slightly faster, like especially his seismic slam and his rocket punch. There's a lot of times where like you're just like flying through the air like slowly, and like people are able to just kill you. But if they look a lot faster, like he's an actual like threat in the lore like he is, then I think he'd be a lot stronger and a lot cooler.
Be able to catch a tracer like he did in that animated short?
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say is your favorite Doomfist skin?
My favorite Doomfist skin is definitely the Los Angeles Gladiators Doomfist. You know, the purple, it really stands out. It's a pretty cool skin. You even have like a little Gladiators icon on his fist.
As you know, the Overwatch League is probably the best signed game in all of esports, not the least of which are the ones demanding the ability matchups of two characters. What ability matchup would you like to see Doomfist have with another hero?
I wish Doomfist could float, especially with his seismic slam. If you're just like floating off like the edge and then you just drop straight down with the seismic slam, I think that'd be really cool.
So in closing, are there any other players or streams that you would recommend watching to see high-level Doomfist play?
If you want to learn Doomfist, just watch Chipsa. He's probably like the best ladder Doomfist in the game.
Hydration, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and congratulations once again.
That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and share, as it really helps out the channel quite a lot. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with all of our content, and hit that bell to stay notified.